WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. So if we just start with Mool Mantar and then we'll start today's talk. Ik oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhau Nirvair Akal Murਤ Ajuni Sahibang Gur Prasad Jap Ad Sach Jugad Sach होसी भी सच आद सच जुगाद सच है भी सच हम अवगुण भरे एक गुण नाही अमृत छाड़ बिखै बिख खाई माया मोह परम पै भूले सुतदारा स्यो प्रीत लगाई एक उत्तम पंथ सुनियो गुर संगत तेह मिलंत जम त्रास मिटाई एक अरदास पाठ की रत की गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई एक अरदास पाठ की रत की गुरु रामदास राखो सरनाई WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. Okay, if we just start with a recap of what we went through last week. Bawdi number 29, I think, with Bayamandeep Singh. So we looked at the importance of knowledge and compassion. So the Siddhs were continued with their bribes and they tried to bribe Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, and they said that we will give you the position of Pandaran. So we'll make you Pandaran. And that position, that was the person that would give out all the food to all of the Siddhs. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj refused this offering, this offering of this position, and explained to the Siddhs that actually the knowledge of WhyGuru Ji and compassion, that is the real food, that is the real Pandaran. Then we looked at how WhyGuru Ji are the one true master. Again, the Siddhs gave Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj a bribe, another offering, and they said that, okay, we'll make you the Naat, right? We'll make you the head of the Siddhs. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj then again refused and said they didn't want this position. And they explained that actually the real Naat, the true master is WhyGuru Ji. Then we looked at Sanjog, Vijog, Doikar, Chalave, Helikhe, Ave, Bhag. So union, separation, Karam, our Bhag, our destiny, it's all controlled. It's all in the control of WhyGuru Ji. And finally, we looked at Ades, the say Ades, Ad, Anil, Anad, Anahat, Jug, Jug, Eko, Vesa. WhyGuru Ji, they remain the same and they remain forever same within all of the ages through the four jugs, the 4 ages. So the charcha and the conversation continued with the Siddhs, and we've got another difficult topic this week. I feel like I always get the difficult topics. We've done Hukam, which was a really difficult topic. Then we had cosmology, which was difficult, and today now we're going to look at creation of the universe, which was very hard when I was researching it. But I think all of the speakers probably think their topics are difficult. So the Siddhs asked Guru Sahib Ji the question that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, what is your vichar, what are your beliefs on how the universe was created, right? How did it occur? And Guru Sahib Ji start off by saying, Eka mai jugt vyai tin chele parvan. So Eka translating to one, mai meaning Maya, Jugat meaning to join, and vyai meaning created, tin chele parvan, tin meaning 3, Chile meaning servants, and Parvan meaning born. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj are saying that when WhyGuru Ji joined with Maya, creation was created, right? And when this happened, Ten Chile Parvan, then 3 servants, 3 Chile, children, we could say, were born. These 3 servants, these 3 sons, these 3 children were born. And looking at this first line, I got quite confused when I was reading into it, Ekka Mai Jugdvai, about how is that one WhyGuru Ji joining with Maya for then the universe to be created. So the answer to that doubt or that question is that any entity for it to become living, it needs to join with WhyGuruji, right? So whether it be us, whether it be animals, because we're all living, we are joined with WhyGuruji, right? And we've got and it's known as Chetanta, which is inside of us. Anything that's not living, say a stone, for example, it doesn't have this Chetanta. So any living entity, any living being, for it to be living, it needs to have this Chetanta inside of it. And an analogy that we can look at to further kind of understand this joining of WhyGuruji and Maya is that if we look at a reflection in water, so Maya is unable to exist itself, right? It has to join and have this Chetanta from WhyGuruji. So if we look at the reflection being Maya, and the thing that's been reflected, the object, the person, we can compare that to WhyGuruji. So the reflection only exists because of the item or whatever the person might be. So if for any reason that object is to move away, if there's a separation between the object and the water, the reflection will no longer be in place. Or say it gets quite cloudy and the sun isn't, the clouds block the sun, again the reflection will go away, right? So the reflection cannot take place without WhyGuruji. So this is the same way that Maya, it's not able to exist. It coexists. It must exist through joining to WhyGuruji. And it's kind of this idea of cause and effect, that WhyGuruji are the cause and then Maya is the effect. So if WhyGuruji aren't joining with Maya, then it doesn't exist. So if we take an example of rainfall, if there's heavy rainfall, then there'll be flooding. But if there isn't heavy rainfall, then there'll be no flooding. So Guru Sahib Ji then go on to say, Ik sansari, ik pandari, ik laye diwan. So Guru Sahib Ji talk about those three sons, those three servants, the tin jele that they spoke about in the first Pangati. And they break it up into three parts. And it's very common that we break things up into three parts, or we categorize things into threes for us to understand them. So if we take time, for example, we categorize it into past, present, and future. If we take temperature, we categorize it into something being too hot, too cold, or just right. If we look at cosmology, ancient cosmology, it's the idea of the heavens, the hells, and earth, right? It's all these threes. If we think of our body, it's body, mind, and soul. So we categorize things into threes. And that's what Guru Sahib Ji's done here. When Guru Sahib Ji are explaining how creation was created, how the universe was created, they have broken it up into three things. Ik sansari, ik pandari, ik laye diwan. So the first one, Guru Sahib Ji say, Ik sansari, that a creative force was created. Then Ik pandari, a sustaining force was created. And then Ik laye diwan. Then also a destructive force was created. And that destructive force has the habit of destruction, of causing destruction, of destroying. So here, what Guru Sahib Ji in the Bella Arth, in the first meaning, are saying is that they are referring to Brahma when they talk about the creative force. And Brahma, as we've spoken about many times in the Japji Sahib course, it's come up before as well. Brahma, they created they have the virtue, the quality of creation. Then Guru Sahib Ji, when they talk about the sustaining force, Bandari, they're talking about Vishnu. So Vishnu are the sustainer, right? And when we think of Bandari, we think of Bandar, which is a store, something that provides sustenance, right? Whether it be food, whether it be wealth. So that's what Guru Sahib Ji are referring to when they're talking about Ik Bandari. Then Ik Laye Diwan, Guru Sahib Ji here are talking about and referring to Shiv Ji. And they are the deity, they're the deity that are the destructive force, that destroy us, bring us to our death, bring us to judgment. Now, a second meaning that can be done when it comes to Ik Sansari, Ik Mandari, Ik Laye Diwan is the Tragun. So this is something that we've touched upon before. In the Pauriyan of a Sank, we went through the Tragun. And Guru Sahib Ji are also talking about this. So these are the characteristics of creation. Can anyone remember the Tragun, what they are? Yep, so Rajogun, Tamogun, and Satogun. So the first one, Ik Sansari, Guru Sahib Ji are referring to this as the Rajo virtue, the Rajo characteristic of creation. And Bhai Manpreet Singh, I think, went through this one, these characteristics in the 19th body. And these include action, consumption, activity. So it's the things we eat, the things we drink, socializing, all those things we do, like the very luxurious things we do. Then Ik Pandari, Guru Sahib Ji are referring to the Sato virtue. So I think Bhai Rohanveer Singh went through this one, with the 17th body, Asank Jap, Asank Pao, Asank Puja, Asank Taptao. And these are the good qualities, the goodness, the saint-like qualities. So charity, giving the swand, Asank Jap, meditating, Asank Pao, love, all those sorts of goodly things. And then Guru Sahib Ji, Ekala Ediban are referring to the Tamo virtue, so the Tamo characteristic of creation. And this is the 18th body we went through, Asank Murak Andkor, Asank Chor Haram Kor. So we looked at slandering, we looked at fools, we looked at thieves, murderers, destruction, laziness, anger. We looked at all these different things. And that's what Guru Sahib Ji are referring to, that there are these three states, right, within Maya, these characteristics of creation. And Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj say that Maya Mamta Mohini Jin Vindanta Jag Khaya Manmukh Khade Gurmukh Ubre Jini Sachanam Chitalaya. That we find Maya very enticing, very exciting, right? And it kind of lures us in. And Guru Sahib Ji say that Jin Vindanta Jag Khaya. So Vin meaning without, Danta meaning teeth, dand, Jag meaning the world, and Kaya meaning eat. But we don't realize that slowly and subtly this Maya is eating away at us, and it doesn't even have any teeth, right? But it's still eating away at us. And when we're referring to this is when we're stuck in these Tregun, the Satogun, the Tomogun, the Rajogun, these states that we're stuck in. This Maya is eating away at us, at everything that we're doing. So the whole of creation belongs to this Tregun, but Guru Sahib Ji are also alluding to that there is something above this, right? We touched upon it in Katha downstairs. So you've got Rajogun, Satogun, and Tomogun, but above that, the fourth stage, the fourth level, known as the Chautapad or the Turi Avastha, that is where we should be aiming for, right? And this fourth stage, it's not affected by Maya. And through the wisdom that Guru Sahib Ji is giving us, through the teachings that Guru Sahib Ji are giving us, we can reach that state. We can reach that level where Maya has no control over us. So this way we will step away from the Tregun, and even the Satogun. I know it has saintly qualities, and it has, the giving charity, and it has doing all these saintly actions. But often when we're doing those actions, we're doing it with a desire, or we have a hope at the end of it. So it's still part of this Tregun, still linked to Maya, even though they are saintly actions. But the Chautapad, it's above all of that, right? In the Chautapad, it's just worship. It's nothing else. It's just worship of WhyGuru Ji, and it's love of WhyGuru Ji. It's falling in the charan of WhyGuru Ji, right? In the feet of WhyGuru Ji. Raj na chaho, mukt na chaho, manpreet charan kamalare. And Bhagat Kabir Ji also talk about this. They say, Rajagun, Tamagun, Satagun kahiye, eh teri sab Maya. That these three gun, the Tregun, they are all linked, and they are all created and part of Maya. And then they say, Chauthe pad ko jo nar chine, tin hi parma pad paya. That person that realizes and understands that Chautha pad and reaches that Chautha pad, they reach not only the Chautha pad, but this state of supremacy, right? This supreme state, and at the point where you can merge with WhyGuru Ji and meet WhyGuru Ji. Then Guru Sahib Ji go on to say, Jiv tisapava, diva chalava, jiv hove furman. So jiv meaning whatever, this translating to they, bhava meaning desire, diva is how, chalava meaning happens, jiv hove furman. Again, whatever occurs will. So whatever WhyGuru Ji desire, whatever WhyGuru Ji want, that is what will happen. right? And whatever is in WhyGuruji's will, WhyGuruji's command, their hukam, we went through hukam quite early on in the Japji Sahib course, that is what will occur, that is what will take place. So whether we walk, whether we talk, the good deeds we do, the bad deeds we do, any actions that we complete, it's all within WhyGuruji's will. And another, if we link this to the deities, to Brahma, Shivji and Vishnu, and we just do the second arth, the second meaning, Diva can also mean 3 and Chalava can also mean walk. So here Guru Sahib Ji are giving the arth, giving the meaning of this Pankti, that actually whatever WhyGuruji desires, whatever WhyGuruji wants those 3 to do, Brahma, Vishnu and Shivji, that's exactly what they do. They walk the way WhyGuruji desire, right? They do everything the way WhyGuruji desire. And even they, Brahma, Vishnu and Shivji, they are bound by WhyGuruji's will, by WhyGuruji's hukam. And they move and they do everything accordingly to WhyGuruji's will. Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj say, Brahma bisan mehes upayan hukam kamavan kara. That WhyGuruji created Brahma, WhyGuruji created Vishnu, and WhyGuruji created Shivji, and they all hukam kamavan kara. They all move, they all do everything in accordance to WhyGuruji's hukam. So if we go back to this line, Jiv tisapave teve chalave, Jiv hove furman. So sometimes we may have the question or the doubt relating to death, right? So if we're thinking about this creation, WhyGuruji created the creative force, the sustaining force, and they created the destructive force. But we might have this question that why was the destructive force created, right? Because we have this concept of WhyGuruji that, you know, they're compassionate, you know, why would they create that? What was the need to create that? And I think what we need to remember, as well as this line and the next line illustrates as well, is that whatever WhyGuruji do, it's up to them, right? It's all a play, and it's whatever WhyGuruji decide to do. It's what they desire, what they want, and it's all to do with their hukam. And it happens in every religion where sometimes, like, we're talking about this idea of death and, you know, or destruction. Why was it created? In Christianity, for example, they have the question about, you know, why does evil exist, or what is evil? So what they've done, they've got the devil, and that's all linked to evil, right? Anything good, anything bad, anything negative, anything evil is related to the devil. Anything good, anything to do with love, compassion, is all related to God. So what we can do, we can take the example of a child building a sandcastle. We can take this analogy. So this child takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to build the sandcastle, and enjoys building the sandcastle. Once the sandcastle's built, the child plays with the sandcastle, sustains the sandcastle, and then afterwards the child will destroy the sandcastle, right? When he's going to leave, when he's going to go home, it's often that children will destroy the sandcastle. They won't leave the sandcastle as it is. So during the whole process, the child remains in the same state, right? Whilst building the sandcastle, whilst sustaining the sandcastle, and whilst destroying the sandcastle, the child remains in the same state, right? Is enjoying itself. It's in a state of bliss, you could say, carefree, and it's got no attachment to the sandcastle. That's why it's able to build it, sustain it, and then destroy it. And if we now compare this to the concept that we have, right? So we have this concept about God, about what God or what WhyGuruji should be like. But the child is showing us that sometimes you can create something, you can sustain something, and you can destroy it, but whilst doing this, still remain in the same state, still remain unattached, have no attachment to it, as does WhyGuruji. So when we remain in the same state, right? The question is, do we remain in the same state when we're going through these different, the Tragun, when we're going through Rajogun, Sotogun, Tomogun? Is our state the same, right? Are we happy in all 3 states? Are we happy, for example, when in Rajogun, when we've got luxurious things and we're eating well, drinking well, and then Sotogun, when we're giving charity, and then in Tomogun, when maybe we're going through sadness or an upset time, do we remain unattached, and does our state remain the same? And we can take the example if a child is born, we'll be very happy. Then whilst the child is growing up, we'll be very happy. But when the child then gets to the point and passes away, then we're not in that same happiness anymore, right? We're upset. We don't stay in that same state, and we have that attachment. But if we, which is understandable, but if we also have the understanding that death is all part of the cycle, right? This destruction, it's all a creation that WhyGuru has made, then it will help us sort of understand and also hopefully kind of get to that state somewhat, to the state of where we can say that we are somewhat unwavered or, you know, still unattached. If we think about it and we try to understand. If we go back to the sandcastle, even though the sandcastle was built, sustained, and then destroyed, the sand is still there, right? The sand hasn't gone anywhere. So in the same way, if we can understand that our body is still here, our body may be destroyed, but the Atma is still here, right? The Atma is still very much present. Then Maharaji say that Ohu vekhe ona nazar na aave bahota ehu verdaan. So Ohu referring to the one, WhyGuruji, vekhe meaning watches, ona meaning they, nazar meaning to see, na aave to not, bahota ehu verdaan, great, this, wondrous. So here Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is saying that WhyGuruji, they see everything. Right? They see everything we're doing, whether it be publicly, whether it be privately, whether it be secretly. It's all being seen by WhyGuruji. But at the same time, we can't see them, right? That we're not able to see them watching us, or we can't see them all together, right? Bahota eho verdaan. And Guru Sahib Ji here saying that, look at this, look, it's such a great play. Like, how amazing is this? How wondrous is this? That WhyGuruji watch over us. They see what we're doing, but we can't see them. Also, in the last session, when we went through whatever number body it was, we had a look at Chittar and Gupta. So the two beings that sit on our shoulders, and they record everything we're doing through the day and then through the night. So in the same way, WhyGuruji are watching us, but we can't see them. And we refer to WhyGuruji as being the Karta, right, the creator, but also that means that they are the doer, and they do everything for us, right? They give us everything we have, they provide for us, they protect us, but we can't see that invisible hand, right? We can't see that invisible hand giving to us and providing for us and protecting us. And now if we relate this back to the three forces of Brahma, Vishnu and Shivji, Guru Sahib Ji explained that in this line that WhyGuruji are also watching them, right? WhyGuruji are watching them, watching what they're doing, but Brahma, Vishnu and Shivji, they can't see WhyGuruji, right? They can't see WhyGuruji, and it's actually the case that they've forgotten about WhyGuruji, and they were put in the positions to preach and, you know, make people understand of WhyGuruji, to worship WhyGuruji. But actually, instead, what's happening, the people, the Sangat, they ended up worshipping them, Brahma, Vishnu and Shivji. Mandirs have been made and all these different things. If we look at the very start of Asa ki Var, Guru Sahib Ji say, Api ne aap sajyo, api ne rachiyo nao, dui kudrat sajye kar asana ditho chao. So Guru Sahib Ji are talking about this idea of Maharaji, of WhyGuruji watching us, right? They're elaborating on this. Api ne aap sajyo, api ne rachiyo nao. The api ne aap sajyo, that WhyGuruji, they created themselves. And then api ne rachiyo nao, that they gave themselves their name, right? Satnam, they gave themselves that true name. Dui kudrat sajye kar asana ditho chao. Then dui, next, secondly, kudrat sajye, the kudrat meaning the universe, the world was created. They created the world. Kar asana ditho chao. And then they took their asan, then they took their seat, and now they're just sitting and watching what's happening, right? They're just watching what we're doing, again, publicly, privately, secretly, whatever we're doing, they're just watching us. And they're just watching this drama play out. Then Guru Sahib Ji go on to say, Data karta aap tu, tus devah karhe pasao, tu janoi sab se, de less hai jind kawao. That WhyGuruji, they are the Data, they are the Karta, aap tu, tus devah karhe pasao. And they give to us as they please, as they wish, right? Depending on their mercy, they give to us what they wish. Dui tu janoi sab se de less jind kawao. That tu janoi sab se meaning everything, janoi meaning to know. They are the knower of everything. They know everything. They less jind kawao, and they are the ones that give us our breaths, right? They give us our life, and they can take it away from us. And finally, again, God asana did jao that Guru Sahib Ji again are saying that WhyGuru Ji, they have done all of this. They've created themselves. They've given themselves their name. They've created the universe, the world. They give us, they sustain us, they do everything. But they've taken their seat. They've done all of the hard work, and now they're just watching. They're just watching what we're doing, and we can't see them. Right? How amazing is this that we can't see them, but they can see us, and they're just watching this play, this drama play out. Then Guru Sahib Ji go on to say Ades to say Ades. So Ades, Guru Sahib Ji is saying salutation. So they are saluting themselves, they are bowing, they are surrendering themselves to WhyGuru Ji. That's what Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaja, they're paying their salutations to that one, right? They're bowing down to that one. So if we have a look at how can we pay our salutations to the ones? What can we do? How can we pay these offerings, bow? How can we surrender to WhyGuru Ji, to our Guru? Any ideas, any suggestions? Giving up our ego, yeah, great. Yeah. So living within hukam. Yeah, that's fine. Anything else? Yeah, living with gratitude. I know we've spoken about, I think Manpreet Singh spoke about keeping a gratitude diary, for example. So being thankful of everything that we have. Anything else? Seva. Yep, so seva to the creation, yep. So whether that be seva at the Gurdwara Sahib, seva at home. I know the saying is seva starts at home. Anything else? Any others? No, okay. So just a few things that we've got here is that first, obviously, going to the Gurdwara Sahib and bowing, doing namaskar or surrendering, paying our salutations on a physical level, right? Physically. So we are surrendering every time that we go and matha tek to Guru Sahib Ji. Then also, if we think of the Nishan Sahib. So the Nishan Sahib is the tall orange flag at the Gurdwara Sahib, right? It's a sign, it's a nishani to say that this is a Gurdwara Sahib, right? It's the Guru's house. And often we can matha tek to the Nishan Sahib, and again, this is a type of physical surrendering, bowing on a physical level. Then there are also ways that we can surrender, but mentally, right? In a mental state. So what we can, even just closing our eyes, if we're at home and we can't get to the Gurdwara Sahib, just closing our eyes and picturing Guru Sahib Ji, right? And doing namaskar, that is a way of surrendering, right? Keeping Guru Sahib Ji on your mind, keeping WhyGuru Ji on your mind, again, is another way of surrendering, always surrendering. Then reading Gurbani, reading on Nitnem. If we think of Japji Sahib is just full of praises of WhyGuru Ji, right? Guru Gobind Singh Ji are just praising WhyGuru Ji. So even the recitation of Japji Sahib, of our Nitnem, is very, very important, and it's a way of bowing to WhyGuru Ji and offering the salutation. Then also we could take on the teachings that Guru Sahib Ji have given us. So we're into week 32 now of the course, Bodhi number 30. So even just taking on the teachings that Guru Sahib Ji have given us in Sri Japji Sahib, right? So if we just take Surya, Siddh Peer Surnath, so if we just listen, right, that's one of the teachings that Guru Sahib Ji were giving us, to just listen. Then to manne ki gat kahi na jaye, to man and accept what Guru Sahib Ji is saying. We can learn about our history, we can learn of Sakhiya, Seva, gratitude, Sad Sangat. These are all ways that we can namaskar, we can bow, and we can surrender. And these are all examples of what we can do. And Bhagat Kabir Ji, there's a beautiful teaching from Bhagat Kabir Ji, and they say that, they said that if God was standing in front of me and my Guru was standing in front of me, then who would I bow down to first, right? After thinking about it, Bhagat Kabir Ji conclude that they would bow down to their Guru first, because if it wasn't for their Guru, they would have no knowledge of WhyGuruji. And it was because of their Guru that they were able to grasp or have some sort of understanding of WhyGuruji. Before this, they had no clue, right? They knew nothing about WhyGuruji. So they would first bow down to their Guru, then bow down to WhyGuruji. But how lucky are we that for us our Guru is WhyGuruji, right? So every time we're bowing down on a physical level, then we are bowing down to WhyGuruji. Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, finally, they end with Ad Anil Anad Anahat Jug Jug Eko Ves. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj here are describing WhyGuruji. They first describe WhyGuruji as being Ad, as being primal, as being fundamental, as always being present, right? They were at the start of the start. Nothing created, nothing made WhyGuruji. Then they describe WhyGuruji as being anil, as being pure. So they are exempt from any markings, any stains. They are completely pure. Then WhyGuruji are described by Guru Sahib Ji as being anad, so having no beginning, and they have not been made from anything, right? No one made WhyGuruji. They created us, but we didn't create WhyGuruji. And then Guru Sahib Ji described WhyGuruji as being anahat, exempt from death. So they cannot be destroyed. They cannot be destroyed. And if we think of hat meaning, or hatya, it means to murder, it means to kill, it means to destroy. But WhyGuruji, they are anahat, so they cannot be destroyed. They cannot be killed, they cannot be murdered. Then finally, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj say, Jug Jug Eko Ves, that throughout the times, throughout the jugs, throughout the 4 ages, WhyGuruji have remained the same, have forever remained in the same form, right? There's not been a time where WhyGuruji has gotten bigger, right? We don't say that WhyGuruji got bigger, WhyGuruji got smaller. We don't say WhyGuruji got, taller. We don't say WhyGuruji got older, WhyGuruji got younger. They remain the same. Their form remains exactly the same. So that brings us to the end of this week's session. So just a recap of what we've been through today. So we looked at the 3 servants of WhyGuruji, right? The creative force, the sustaining force, and the destructive force, and how they link to Brahma, Vishnu, and Shivji. Then we also looked at how Guru Sahib Ji were talking about the different characteristics of creation. They were talking about Tamogun, Satogun, and Rajogun, right? These 3 different levels that are all controlled by Maya. But if we get past this, then we can reach the Jotapad, the 4th stage. Then Guru Sahib Ji went through whatever. Guru Sahib Ji showed us that whatever WhyGuruji desire, that will take place. That everything is within their hukam. And finally, that WhyGuruji watch over us, and they have created all of creation, and now just sit and watch. That they are this to say Ad Anil Anad Anahat Jug Jug Eko Ves. The different descriptions of WhyGuruji, right? Being exempt from death, being pure, being primal, fundamental. And WhyGuruji, they have forever been the same. Their form remains the same. And like we said, about the Pangati from the Pauri from Asa Ki War, Api ne aap sajyo, api ne rachyo nao, dui kudrat sajye kar asan ditho chao, that they've created this universe. They've created all these different forces, these different characteristics of creation, and now they just sit and watch. And they watch us all, and we can't see them, but they're watching us, and they can see exactly what we're doing. So if we just, it's only a few lines this week. If you just sing through I think maybe the 5 lines or so, and then it will be samapti. Eka mai jogat vyai, tin chile parvan. Eka जुगत व्याई चले परवान एका माई जुगत व्याई तिन चले परवान एका व्याई तिन चले परवान एक संसारी एक पंडारी एक लाए दीवान एक संसारी पंडारी दीवान एक संसारी एक पंडारी एक लाए दीवान एक संसारी एक पंडारी दीवान जिव तिस पावै तिव चलावै जिव होवै फुरमान जिव तिस पावै तिव चलावै जिव होवै जिव तिस पावै तिव चलावै जिव होवै फुरमान जिव तिस पावै तिव चलावै जिव होवै फुरमान ओहो वेखै ओना नदर न आवै बहुता एहो विडान ओहो वेखै ओना नदर न आवै बहुता ओहो वेखै ओना नदर न आवै बहुता एहो विडान ओहो वेखै ओना नदर न आवै आदेश तिस आदेश आदेश तिस आदेश तिस आदेश आदेश आद अनील अनाद अनाहत जुग जुग एको वेस आद अनील अनाद आद अनील अनाद अनाहत जुग जुग एको वेस आद अनील अनाद अनाहत जुग जुग WhyGuru, 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 Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Is there any questions? That's great. It's really good to sit on. Yes. So Baji said that we said that Guru Sahib Ji, why Guru Ji sit and watch? So do they ever get involved? So what do you mean by the question? So if we take the example of Vaiguruji's hukum and Vaiguruji's will, so everything that is happening is in accordance to that, right? So that would be Vaiguruji sort of getting involved, no? So that is kind of if everything's running towards or is happening in accordance to Vaiguruji's will, so that would be them getting involved. Does that where were you sort of coming from? Oh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But obviously things can change. You know, if we, the way we say that, if we come into Guru Sahib Ji's Hazuri, and when we matha take to Guru Sahib Ji, and we put our matha and our hands on Guru Sahib Ji's charan, then things can change, you know. So our garam, our bag, and things that are going to happen can change. But obviously, in working, in terms of them getting involved, I would say it'd be according to their will, according to their hukum. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. So the question was that we spoke about the three states, the Dragon, and is there any reference to the Jota Pad before Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj? Is that what you're saying? I wouldn't know. I'm not sure if there was. There was. Do you want to answer that question?
WhyGuru, Hanji, so to answer your question, yes, in terms of where that reference is, I've not read the other Granths, but wherever Sikhis talk about, it's not something new. The truth has always existed, right? So when it comes to the different states, we talk about the Dragon, three qualities, and then the state above that, that's always existed in that respect, right? So what Guru Bani is teaching us is the complete truth. It's not to say it's a new truth, but it's just the complete truth in that respect as well. So Hanji, these ideologies, these things existed. If you say before, I use that very loosely. Guru Bani became Baragat. I'll use that word as well, right? As in we had access to Guru Bani, right? But again, the truth is the truth. So that was there beforehand as well, before 1469. If you want to ask that specifically. ठीक है जी. Hanji, anybody else? But Simran. ठीक है जी. That's fine then. We'll finish off here. Thank you so much to everybody for turning up. The reason I'm putting my phone out is because I've got the live stream for downstairs, so I know exactly what's going on downstairs. And the Granthi Singh is doing his ardas, so that should be done in about half an hour. And then we'll have another side. Ardas does take a while. We'll do ardas now. Guru Sahib Ji is Prakash today, so very blessed. So any volunteers for Sohela Sahib? Any Panjia want to do so? Awesome. That's fine. Chalo, Panji's already put a hand up. Bhai Sahib, you had double Adi Seva, so you got to share. You got sharing is caring, right? Das will do Ardas. Unless anyone wants to do Ardas? Any volunteers for Ardas? ठीक है. Bhai Mabir Singh Ji, would I take Hukanama Sahib? Mind. Hanji, so I'll do Ardas. And then Bhai Sahib Ji will take Hukanama Sahib. Then the Singhs will do Sukhas Adi Seva. So finish up there. Thank you so much, guys, for coming today. And again, the course is coming to the end, so please make sure we keep attending. Let our friends and family know as well. ठीक है जी. Thank you so much. Was that a hand or was that like a... Chalo, that was thingy. Finish up a slok and then we'll do Ardas. WhyGuru Ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji ki Fateh. Slok Pavan Guru.